So within this video, we're going to look at absorption costing, and it's a Leaving Cert examination ordinary level question from 2017. So this will be the solution for it. I'm not going to go into the actual meaning of absorption costing and that'll be in a different video. So for this video, it'll be just how to answer these questions. So first of all, part A, so we'll go through the question. So Fencing Limited has the following budget for the year. So this is what they budget or hope their cost will be for the year. So you have direct labour, direct material, direct labour, factory overheads, budgeted direct labour, budget machine hours. So the first part of the question is to look at the overhead absorption rate per direct labour hour and overhead absorption rate per machine hour. So we'll go and we'll have a look at that now. So part A. So the formula, we need to know what the formula is for the overhead absorption rate. So the formula for that is going to be factory overheads or overheads. So in this case it's going to be factory overheads. Factory overheads over direct labour hours. Okay. So we can just take them figures straight out there. So budgeted factory overheads 120,000, and that's going to be over budgeted direct labour hours, which is here. So it's going to be over 16,000. So then if we just divide them in, we come up with €7.50 per, and it's going to write direct labour hour. Okay, then the second part of that question then, so that's part 1. The second part of that question then is, let's undo that. Part 2. Let's do it over here. So again, overhead absorption rate. So overhead absorption rate for machine hour, which again is the same formula except it's going to be budgeted overheads of 120,000. And the only difference in the formula is that it's going to be over machine hours of 8,000. Which equals to €15 per direct machine hours. Just pop in the euro sign here also. So that's part A, part 1 and 2 completed, so it's actually not too bad. So now I'm just going to move everything down so we can have a look at the next part of the question. I'll bring down the question as well so it's easy to refer back to. Okay, so now we're on part B. So this is in relation to a specific job. So it's going to be job number 562. So I'll just put a heading here of job 562. Okay, so we're looking at a specific job, and what it's saying to us now is calculate the cost of job 562 using the overhead absorption rate per machine hour. So we've seen in job number 562 is that we have direct materials of 20,000, direct labour hours of 260 hours, and machine hours of 170 hours. So that's what we think is going to cost or take to complete job number 562. So I think the best way to do this question is to just lay it out in a table format. So we can see I've laid out, we have labour hours in one column, and then I'll have machine hours in another column. Okay, so the first thing then we need to look at is we can look at, so this job number is going to be taken, job number 562 is going to be taken up by direct machine and direct labour. So direct materials and direct labor. So I'm just going to write direct labor, LAB for labor, and then I'm going to write direct materials. So we know that there's going to be direct materials in relation to this job. We can easily see then is the direct materials is just going to be 20,000. So the direct materials we can just pop in both labor and machine hours is 20,000, because that's going to affect both machine and labor because they're both directly involved in the production. So 20,000. Then the next one we need to look at is direct labor. So direct labor, and we can calculate that. So it's going to take 260 hours. Okay, we've already so what we need to do is we need to take a proportion of that 260 labor hours out of the overall direct labor cost of 134,000. So we'll just do a little rough work calculation down here. Okay, so you see the rough work calculation down here. So what we need to take is we need to take the 134,400. That's the amount, the actual amount that we have budgeted for. So 134,400, and then we need to divide that by the number of direct labor hours that we have budgeted for the whole year. So we just divide that by 16,000. When we get that answer, we just need to multiply that by 260. So the 260 comes from this actual job number 562. So when we calculate that, we'll find that it's 2184. So then all we need to do is, because it's direct, it impacts both sides. So 2184, 2184. So that's the direct side done for job number 562. So now all we need to do is the overheads, or the indirect labor and machine hours. So I'm just going to write overheads here. And so it's going to be for labor, and then machine as well. So it's overheads for the machine and overheads for the labor. Sorry about the writing there. I think you get the idea. So what we need to do then is we've got a little bit of work done already, so we just need to tidy it up. So up above here we found part 1 and 2. So we found that the direct labor hours, the absorption rate per direct labor hour was 750. Sorry about that. 750 and €15 for a machine. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to take them two amounts and multiply by the respective elements down here. So we have the overhead absorption rate per direct labor hour 750. So now all we need to do is multiply the 750 times 260. So just have it there, 750 times 260, which equals 1950. So we can just pop that 1950 only into the labor hours though, because it's in overhead, so it's not directly in relation to the manufacturing. So that's why we only put it into labor hours. So it's 1950. We then do the exact same. We multiply the €15 multiplied by the 170 hours. So again, figures are just taken directly from there, and what we get then is 2,550. So this is machine, so machine into machine hours, and we go 2,550. 2,550. And we're nearly done now. So that's the total cost. So what we need to do then is calculate the total costs. So we just add up this column and this column, and then we get the total costs. So the total cost for labor hours is going to be 24,134, and machine hours is 24. Apologies, 24. 734. Okay, and then we just have to finish off the question now. If we just have a look at the last part, then it just says calculate the selling price of 562 using the labor overhead and absorption rate above, assuming a markup of 20%. So we have our total cost here, so we just need to put a markup of 20%. So what that means is we just need to multiply both sides, both figures, by 20%. So what we need to do is just find 20% of that and then 20% of that, and then we're nearly done. So when you calculate that, you get a total of 4827, and then you get a total of 4947. And then the actual selling price, so that's the markup. So I'm just going to write MU for markup, and then the actual selling price then is going to be 28,961, and then 29,681. Just need to add them two together. And that's the question completed there. So again, it's fairly straightforward. Once you're able to do this little graph here and understand that it's direct labor, direct machinery, and then it's two different overheads in relation to overheads for labor and machinery, which we take into the overhead absorption rate that we've calculated previously, and that's all there is to it. Thank you.